Game 2 of the doubleheader just moments away. Savannah Jones in the circle for the Tornadoes. And Jenica Brown will lead off for the Scots. Scots starting lineup, batting order as follows. Jenica Brown, Caitlin Woodruff, Sarah Kuntz, Emily Hill, Michaela Clark, and Brecca Williams bat 4, 5, 6 as first pitch at exactly 3 p.m. Eastern time here in the mountains. 7, 8, 9 hitters for the Scots, Kalia Hensick, Annie Fowler, and Amanda Goodlow. Ground ball there, handled by Michaela Morgan. Close play at first base. The speedy leadoff hitter Brown, but Tornadoes defense able to get the job done. Out number 1, and that fires up the members of NATO Nation here in attendance. 1 down here. And that'll bring up Caitlin Ween. No outs here in the bottom of inning number 2. At the plate, senior center fielder Jocelyn Falkers. Falkers entering today a .352 hitter with 13 RBIs and 3 doubles. She has a base runner at first. That's Carly Queen. On deck for the Tornadoes, top of the order, Taylor Hanna. Pitch there across the plate, strike 1. So right away, Ackerman able to get ahead of Falkers. Oh, 1 the count and the pitch. Laying down a bunt there was Falkers, and it bounces foul. So 0-2 now the count. Wind starting to pick up a bit here at the BC softball field. Temperature now 62 degrees. Very pleasant. And driven here to center field. Runner will hold at first. And that'll bring up Taylor Hanna. So after the pitching change, Maryville able to get the first out of the bottom of the second here. Hanna with her second at-bat of the contest. Hanna scored the first run of the game for the Tornadoes on a double steal where she was able to come home on the play. The pitch to Hanna. Hanna slices this down the left field line, caught in foul territory. So a foul fly out to Hensick out there in left field for out number 2. And that'll bring up Gabby Hooper. So runner at first is Carly Queen. 2 outs now, Ackerman versus Hooper. The pitch. Runner is going, and Queen able to steal second in the process. Carly Queen. Her 3rd stolen base on the season. She's been perfect in that department. 3 steals and 3 attempts. 1-0 the count to Hooper. Across the plate there, 1-1. If the inning continues, Emily White awaits on deck. Tornadoes under the direction of head coach Bree Sharon. Volunteer assistant coach is Christy Caldwell. The pitch. This is lifted to left field, and able to make the play there is Hensick for out number 3. But the Tornadoes able to get that go-ahead run.
History
in the bottom of the second.
Is everything.
We'll head to the top of the 3rd with your score for Mark 3, Maryville 2.
It's every discipline. It's music, it's art, it's economics, it's politics. And so students who study history end up with the ability to look critically at every discipline. This is a skill you can use in any field.
I chose Brevard mostly because of the experiential education, and their history program really sold me over. The variety of history classes that they offer. You have classes like History of Stuff, where you learn the commodification of history and how that's affected how we are today. That class really forces you to examine yourself and how you consume goods and how you're living in the world and how is that affecting the world around you.
So Tornadoes will go back to work here. Savannah Jones in the circle for the NATOs, and for the first time having the benefit of pitching with a lead. Now 3-2 NATOs on top. Fouled off there, 0-1. And the pitch. Across the plate there, 0-2. One, two the count. Jones versus Goodlow. And a close play at first, and Goodlow showing those wheels, the speed on the base pass, able to beat out that throw from Morgan. Morgan did everything textbook there from the shortstop position, but Goodlow's speed able to beat out the throw. Now runner aboard, the tying run potentially for the Maryville Scots. And back to the top of the order we go for the Scots, and it's Jenica Brown, the center fielder. She wears number 18, junior from Knoxville. Momentarily, catcher Taylor Hanna called time, and now decides to get back into the rhythm here. Pitch. First pitch from Jones, a good one, strike one. One the count. And runner going, Hannah fires away and beating the throw there. Once again showing that speed, Goodlow. So able to get a infield single, beating out a throw, and now a stolen base. 2-1 the count. 3-2 Tornadoes on top of the third inning here at the BC softball field. Pitch there. Hannah did everything she could to frame that Jones pitch, but home plate umpire had different ideas, called that a ball. 3-1 the count. No outs, runner at second. The pitch. Called strike. So the count runs full. Jones versus Brown. Emily White playing in at third base. And taking ball 4 there is Brown, so runners first and second. Brown and Goodlow, respectively. And that'll bring up Caitlin Woodruff. Woodruff, the shortstop for the Scots. Pitch from Jones, high, ball 1. Tornadoes need to be careful here. Runners first and second, no outs. A 1-run lead for the home team. And the pitch, inside, 2-0. Coming down the home stretch of the regular season for the Tornadoes. Senior Day on Saturday. As this is lifted to right field, and Carly Queen did a great job showing some range there, and then able to get the ball back into the infield. However, Goodlow was able to tag up and move from second to third, but great job there out in right field by Carly Queen. We saw her make a spectacular play here about a week ago. And Queen does it again, able to range towards that right field line and come up with that long fly ball. Out number 1. Meanwhile, runner going again. So Maryville's been aggressive on the base pass. Now runners second and third. And 0-1 the count. That pitch called a strike. So runners second and third for Sarah Kuntz. Kuntz, one of the top hitters for Maryville, and that'll be a hit by pitch. And now bases are loaded. That seemed to have barely grazed Kuntz. And we'll see what the situation is here as Kuntz is now heading back to the plate, so perhaps overruled the hit by pitch. I'm not sure if one of the umpires even called anything there, but Kuntz quickly ran to first base as if she somehow deserved it. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Kuntz back to the plate, runners second and third. And that pitch inside, 2-1. So erase the hit by pitch from your scorebook if you're scoring from home. And the at-bat continues. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Here in the top of the third. Grounder there. Hooper makes the play at first. That'll score a run. So it's an RBI ground out for Kuntz. And coming home to score is Goodlow. Once again, Goodlow's speed really paid off this frame for Maryville, who's able to get to the equalizer, now a 3-3 ball game. Goodlow had a infield base hit where she beat out the throw. And she stole a base, also advanced from second to third on a fly out, and then able to score there on the RBI ground out by Kuntz. And just like that, Maryville now leading 3-3 here in the top of the third. Meanwhile, runner at second, 2 outs for the cleanup hitter for Maryville, Emily Hill. So Hooper able to make a nice play there for out number 2, but Tornadoes not out of the woods yet. 3-3 the score here in the top of the third, runner at second. And the pitch. This is popped up, foul territory. Morgan ranging into that gravel area over near the Tornadoes bullpen. unable to make the play. Would have been a spectacular one, sliding on her knees. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner at second. And the pitch to Hill. This is fouled off, same general direction, but out of play. So the at-bat will continue. Jones versus Hill. One, two, the count remains. And the pitch. High, 2-2. The Maryville Scots, a impressive record, 19-14 after the Game 1 win today. They're 10-3 in the conference. As this has popped up, Michaela Morgan able to make out number 3, and Maryville is able to add a run, find the equalizer to tie this game up. However, the Tornadoes able to get out of the inning. Your score at the middle of the third, Brevard 3, Maryville 3.
I think one of my favorite things about psychology is that everything we're learning in class really applies to people's lives. Oftentimes, experiential learning in psychology is talking about what you do at your athletic practice today, or how does this relate to your relationship with people in your dorm room. Even in my intro level classes,
So Emily White will lead things off for the Tornadoes. And first pitch called strike. Emily White 1 for 1 here in game 2 of the doubleheader. And she slugs this into the gap, make it a 2 for 2 day for nation's best hitter, Emily White. And runner aboard for the Nados and Michaela Morgan. One 0 the count to Morgan. Runner at first, that's White. Morgan with a big RBI double in the first inning. And here we are, inning number 3, all tied up at 3. This one's popped up. And shortstop for Maryville makes the play for out number 1. That was Woodruff. First pitch to Mann off the plate. Fouled back towards our broadcast location. Swing and a miss there, 1-2 the count. Runner at first, that's White. After 2-for-2 start here in game 2 of the doubleheader, Ackerman freezes Mann for her strikeout there in the second out. Now to bring up Brittany Franks, left fielder for the NATOs. The graduate student, Brittany Franks. Out of Belmont, North Carolina. This is fouled back. And out of play. Nice crowd is gathered here for game 2 of the doubleheader. Great to see members of the Brevard College women's basketball team in attendance. Also notice some of the Tornado football student athletes here as well. Always a great scene. Student athletes supporting student athletes across the sports at Brevard College. 3-3 your score. There's a runner at first. 0-2 the count as that's fouled off by Franks. 2 outs. All knotted up at 3 here in the bottom of the third. Much different story than what we saw in game 1 of the doubleheader, an 11-1 Maryville victory. And big part of that win was the pitcher for the Scots, who is now on the circle as well, Ackerman. Ackerman in game 1 went 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 run, 7 strikeouts, 0 walks. Tornadoes base hits versus Ackerman came from Morgan and Jones. White was able to get to Ackerman to start this inning here. Ackerman in relief of Kennedy Henry, who started the game for the Scots. Franks lifts this to center field, and that'll be out number 3 as one runner is left on base. We'll head to the top of the 4th with your score. Brevard 3, Maryville 3.
Core skills to be successful in any field. So what can students do after they graduate? Anything they want. And what I mean by that is an outdoor professional runs businesses, they balance budgets, they hire staff, they create programs, they run events, they manage risk, they create emergency action plans, they do a whole host of skills that are applicable in any field. What we train our students to do that's foremost is how to think critically, how to solve problems that have real life consequences in a high intensity environment. And those core skills are transferable. So employers are looking for people who can make ethical decisions, who can communicate well, who can think critically and solve problems.
Back to action here at the BC softball field. And leading off for the Scots will be the 5-hole hitter, Michaela Clark. And Savannah Jones will go back to work. She's been effective thus far, limiting the Scots offense to 3 runs through 3 innings. Meanwhile, Clark steps to the plate. She's the sophomore from Plano, Texas. Savannah Jones. This will mark her fourth start as a starting pitcher, as that's grounded to White, and White able to complete the play to Lauren Mann for out number 1. And that'll bring up Brecca Williams, freshman from Maryville. Of course, located in Maryville, Tennessee. Jones 1-2 on the season. This is her 6th overall appearance, her 3rd start. She has 2 complete games and has now pitched 19 2/3 innings, make it 20 total innings now after this out here in the 4th. Savannah Jones, typically the starting second baseman for the Tornadoes, but has been effective in the circle as well. Jones, another senior who will be honored on Saturday. Out of Pelzer, South Carolina, Woodmont High School. Jones and the senior class will be honored. A special ceremony scheduled for 1:40 p.m. on Saturday prior to the doubleheader versus Wesleyan College. 2 balls, 1 strikes, 1 out. And the pitch. This is popped up, and Hooper able to make the play for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down for the Tornadoes defense and Savannah Jones. And that'll bring up Kalia Henzik. Henzik, the left fielder. First pitch to Kenzik, high, ball 1. So in addition to Savannah Jones also being honored, part of that senior class, Taylor Hanna, Jocelyn Falkers, Mackenzie Rice, and Caitlin Farmer. Rice has taken on a student manager role here this season, doing a great job with a lot of the administrative work. Graduate students Brittany Franks and Emily White celebrated their senior day 1 year ago here. They will also be part of the festivities as graduate students playing their last games here at the BC softball field. A festive atmosphere certainly on deck for this weekend senior day. Hope to see you here. And if you're not able to make it to the BC softball field, we'll be bringing you the action on the YouTube channel. 3-1 the count with 2 outs. 3-3 your score. Bases empty. The pitch outside, ball 4. So Henzik able to take first base via the base on balls, and that'll bring up Annie Fowler. Second baseman for the Scots. Fowler bats from the right side, and now the go-ahead run is located at first base. There are 2 outs. This is grounded foul and out of play. Well, exciting times around the world of Brevard College athletics this week. Men's and women's tennis have both qualified for the USA South Conference postseason tournament. And several senior days on deck this weekend, as we've been mentioning throughout the broadcast, not only softball, but also women's lacrosse and baseball. Track and field is at the USA South Conference Championships. Those taking place in Berea, Kentucky. Climbing heading to the Bridgeport, Pennsylvania location for the USA Climbing National Championships, where 4 Tornadoes will be in action. White's able to make the catch in foul territory as the Maryville pops up for out number 3. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th with your score: Brevard 3, Maryville 3. Back to action here at the BC softball field. To the bottom of the fourth inning we go. All tied up 3-3 between the Maryville Scots and the home team, the Brevard College Tornadoes. And leading off for the Tornadoes, Sarah Barnes. Now, Sarah Barnes, what an opening statement she made. Barnes, with her first career hit, which was a triple, and then she came home to score the go-ahead run, and Barnes, in just a matter of moments, had her first career hit, her first career triple, and her first career run scored. Sarah Barnes, a freshman from Matthews, North Carolina. And she pops up there for out number 1. That'll bring up Carly Queen. Queen, the freshman from Mocksville, North Carolina, Davie County High School. She had a RBI single that drove home Barnes to give the Tornadoes its first lead of the day. 1-0 the count. Ackerman versus Queen. The pitch. Outside, ball 2. Pop up there to third base. Brecca Williams able to make the play there. And that'll bring up Jocelyn Falkers. Falkers, a storied career at Brevard College. One of those seniors will be honored on Saturday. .352 average entering today. That includes 3 doubles, a triple, a home run, and 13 RBIs. 1-2-3 inning for Maryville as they're able to make the last put out there, 6-3. We'll head to the top of the 5th with your score, Brevard 3, Maryville 3.
Our students make
Back to action here at the BC softball field. We have a dandy as we enter the 5th inning, all tied up, Brevard and Maryville. Knotted at 3 runs apiece. And leading off here is Amanda Goodlow, who certainly was a factor her last time around. And first pitch swinging's Goodlow, and 1 pitch, 1 out for Savannah Jones as Carly Queen's able to make another nice play out there in right field. And 1 away here. And that'll bring up Brown, the leadoff hitter for the Scots. Brown 0 for 1 on the day. She does have a walk. Savannah Jones continuing her outing. She's been excellent so far, keeping a very potent Maryville offense in check, limiting the Scots to 3 runs here in the 5th inning so far. 1 down here, inning number 5, nobody on. That pitch outside, ball 3. So hitters count here for the leadoff hitter, Brown. Brown, junior outfielder from Knoxville, a transfer from Walters State. The pitch. Across the plate there, 3-1. Looked like Brown was taken all the way, but Jones able to locate for first strike of the at-bat. White playing in at third. Lauren Mann playing deep at first. And ball 4, so for the second time, the leadoff hitter able to reach base via the base on balls. That's Brown. Meanwhile, Woodruff comes to the plate, the starting shortstop for the Scots. So the go-ahead run located at first base, and speed on the base pass as well. So Tornadoes need to be careful here with Brown at first and Woodruff the batter. Woodruff 1 for 2 with a run scored here in game 2 of the doubleheader. Game 1 of the doubleheader, she was electric, 3 for 4, 3 runs scored, 3 RBIs. 3-3 your score. The pitch outside, ball 2. Tornadoes infield, Emily White at third, Michaela Morgan at short, Gabby Hooper at second, and Lauren Mann at first. Taylor Hanna is the catcher. In the circle, Savannah Jones. The pitch. This is popped straight up into the air. Jones able to make the play in fair territory for out number 2. So nice job there by Jones, kind of jamming Woodruff and forcing that pop-up. Meanwhile, the wind picking up here at Brevard College, blowing in from center field, so certainly not the best conditions for the power hitters. And speaking of which, here comes Coons, the 3-hole hitter for Maryville. Now 2 down, runner at first. The pitch in the dirt, handled by Hannah. Snap throw to first. However, Brown back safely. 1-0 the count to Coons. Coons went 2 for 3 in game 1 of the doubleheader. She's 1 for 2 here in game 2. Also has 2 RBIs and a run scored, and she will take first base on the hit by pitch. So now runners first and second for Maryville. As Coons tries to shake that off down the first base line, we may have a pinch runner here. And indeed, that's the case, as McCormick, who we saw pinch run earlier in the doubleheader, now will run at first base. So runners first and second for Maryville. And the cleanup hitter coming to the plate after the hit by pitch of Coons, Emily Hill. So Tornadoes need to be careful here. Certainly, you feel like in many ways the game might be hanging in the balance here in the top of the 5th. In this situation for Maryville with 2 runners aboard and their cleanup hitter at the plate. Pitch here, across the plate, strike 1. Great job locating there by Jones. Emily Hill, the sophomore from Charlotte, South Mecklenburg High School. The pitch. Went around, strike 2, so unable to hold that check swing. And 0-2 the count. With 2 outs, runners first and second. Jones deals and gets the strikeout looking. What a pitch there by Jones. An incredible at-bat. Freezing Hill, 3 pitches, 3 strikes, 2 runners left on base. Jones with the strikeout will head to the bottom of the 5th with your score, Brevard 3, Maryville 3.
A difference in the world. They leave our program and they are prepared to be amazing, competent teachers who nurture and build a learning community in their own classrooms, wherever that is.
These turtles, they're more than, a few thousand years old. The species was actually a few million years old, so they're very old species.
I think one of the main things that I do bring to the kids is that I have a passion for what I do, and that carries over to my enthusiasm when I teach. By being excited about what I'm doing, I get the kids excited about learning.
Back to action here at the BC softball field. What a compelling game we have transpiring here in game 2 of the doubleheader. All tied up at 3. Great job by Savannah Jones to get the strikeout with 2 runners on base. Striking out the cleanup hitter for the Scots, Emily Hill. And now the Tornadoes bats. We'll see if they can take the lead in this one. Taylor Hanna will come to the plate, top of the order. Hanna 1 for 2 on the day with a run scored. And the pitch. Called a foul, so strike 1. As that grazed Hanna's bat, apparently. On deck for the Tornadoes, Gabby Hooper, Emily White in the hole. So top of the order for the Nados as Hanna puts this into play and able to get the line drive base hit. Nicely done there. A 2-hit game for Taylor Hanna. And that'll bring up Gabby Hooper. So the go-ahead run for the Tornadoes at first base in the form of Taylor Hanna. Gabby Hooper at the plate. The pitch from Ackerman. Hooper trying to lay down a bunt. Bunt ends up in foul territory for strike 1. Gabby Hooper getting the start at second base with Savannah Jones pitching here in game 2 of the doubleheader. Pop up there and handled by the catcher, Coons of the Scots for out number 1. And that'll bring up Emily White. 2 for 2 here in this second game of the doubleheader. As of April 15th, the nation's leader in hitting. And when I say nation's hitter, I mean D1, D2, D3, you name it. Now White lifts this to deep left field and a long fly out. We mentioned the wind, it's blowing in, so may have affected that fly ball. It'll be out number 2 as out there in left field, Hensick able to make the catch in the second out. That'll bring up Michaela Morgan. Certainly solid hitter in her own right, leading the team in RBIs. Pitch there across the plate, strike 1. She's 1 for 2 with an RBI today. Had an RBI double earlier. This is lifted and out of play. Morgan doubled down the left field line back in the bottom of the first, which scored White for the Tornadoes' first run of the day. That was the 18th RBI, team best, and also the 10th double, also a team best for Morgan. Oh, 2 the count, outside, and runner going, Hannah, and she's safe at second base, so Hannah able to safely steal second, and just like that, the go-ahead run is in scoring position. 1-2 the count. The pitch to Morgan. Morgan puts this into play. Bobbled by the shortstop, and runner aboard. Runner advances to third, so first and third. And ruled a base hit for Michaela Morgan. So now runners first and third. And situation has become that much more compelling with the Tornadoes now. Runners first and third, 2 outs, and looks like a pinch hitter for the Tornadoes. It'll be Autumn Lawless. So Autumn Lawless being brought in this big situation here. Lawless, one of the regulars for the Tornadoes. 21 games played, 20 starts. Lauren Mann getting the start at first base in game 2 of this doubleheader, but the benefit of that is you have a bat like Lawless available to come off the bench, and now Lawless comes into this situation. She has 10 RBIs on the season. That's 4th on the team. And entering today was hitting .365, so not a bad option for the Tornadoes here, with runners first and third, all knotted up at 3. Ackerman with the pitch. First pitch swinging is Lawless, and tough play against the fence, but able to make the play there. Nicely done there defensively by Brecca Williams, the third baseman of the Maryville Scots. So Tornadoes certainly threatened there in the bottom of the 5th. However, the Scots able to hold them at bay and keep this
Brevard
game
College is special because
tied up at 3. We'll head to the top of the 6th with your score. Brevard 3, Maryville 3.
of the way we teach, because we have classes that allow us to teach in the way that we like, which is experiential. Where we are, if you like the outdoors, man, we have great luck with cyclists coming here. There's something in the water about cycling in Brevard, or fly fishing, or just hiking. We have outstanding music. The music program here is wonderful. There's just a number of things to be said about Brevard College.
So back to action here at the BC softball field. First pitch from Savannah Jones off the plate, ball 1. First assignment for Jones is Michaela Clark. She's the designated player for the Scots. That pitch across the plate, 1-1 the count. A tight ball game here. Tornadoes going blow to blow with the Scots. Just out of the reach there of Taylor Hanna. And that ball will be ruled a foul. 1-2 the count. Michaela Clark versus Savannah Jones. Jones got a huge strikeout to get the Tornadoes out of the top of the 5th. Now facing the Scots once again here in the top of the 6th as this ball lands in foul territory. It traveled a long way, but ultimately foul. Michaela Clark, the 5-hole hitter. So Clark, Williams, and Hensick due up for the Scots. Sophomore out of Plano, Texas. Here's the 1-2 from Jones. Just missing there. Perhaps a little high. Maybe just a smidgen inside. 2-2 the count. Jones delivers. This is driven to center field. Falkers squares it up and able to make the out. One down here in the top of the 6th. Got to bring up Brecca Williams. And the pitch inside, 1-0. Bases empty, 1 out. Top of inning number 6. We're all tied up at 3. The pitch from Jones, inside, ball 2. Pitch there, located well. 2-1 the count. And called strike there, so 2-2 the count with 1 out. Bases empty. Diving for the play there. The Jones able to snap throw it over to Hooper. 3-4 on the putout. Or check that 1-4 as Jones. What a play. Brilliantly done, Savannah Jones. Now batting number 3, the left fielder, Kalia Hensick. So Hensick will come to the plate. What a play by Jones. She dove for it. Unable to make the play on the pop-up. And then cat-like instincts, able to quickly grab the loose ball, fire away to Hooper, who was covering first. As this is a bloop single just over the head of Morgan. So a base runner aboard now for the Scots. So Fowler will step to the plate. Runner at first, 2 outs. Every at-bat matters at this point, no doubt about it. You can just feel it in the air that you feel like whoever gets the go-ahead run might take this victory here in game number 2. It's been tight, 3-3 here in the 6th inning. Pitch there, high, 1-1 the count. Runner at first, which is Hensick. Fowler at the plate. Jones in the circle for the Tornadoes. The pitch. This is popped up. Foul territory, a diving play. Taylor Hanna lays out for that one, unable to make the play, but what an effort by the senior Taylor Hanna. Giving it her all here. the penultimate doubleheader for senior Taylor Hanna in a Brevard College Tornado uniform, along with her fellow seniors, including the pitcher at the moment, Savannah Jones, who's pitched a gem thus far. 1-2 the count with 2 outs. The pitch. This is popped up, and Morgan able to make the play for out number 3. The Tornadoes able to strand another Scots runner, and we'll head to the bottom of the 6th. It's a dandy here at the BC softball field. Your score, Brevard 3, Maryville 3. So Brittany Franks will lead things off for the Tornadoes. Franks, Barnes, and Queen due up. And Franks lifts this and caught in foul territory by Williams for out number 1. So that'll bring up Sarah Barnes. So Barnes will step to the plate with Carly Queen on deck. Ackerman will go back to work. Winning pitcher in game number 1, and base hit there from Barnes. So Barnes, what a afternoon she's having. And base runner aboard, Sarah Barnes, and that'll bring up Carly Queen. So Barnes, her first multiple hit game, her first base hit came today, her first triple, her first run scored. All this in her 3rd collegiate start, and she's going to be replaced at first base by Beth Hyatt. So pinch runner at first, that's Beth Hyatt. So adding some speed on the base pass. The potential game-winning run, go-ahead run at first base in this USA South Conference contest between the Maryville Scots and the Tornadoes. 3-3. We've had quite the ball game here, game number 2 of the doubleheader. Significant difference between what we saw in game number 1, an 11-1 Maryville win via the run rule. That game only lasted 5 innings. We're in the 6th inning here, bottom of inning number 6, all tied up at 3. Carly Queen at the plate. Ackerman, the pitcher. Pitch there off the plate. Base runner at first is Beth Hyatt. On deck for the Tornadoes, Jocelyn Falkers. And the 2-0. Driven to right field, and 2 runners aboard now for the Tornadoes here with 1 out, and that'll bring up Falkers. So big opportunity here for the Tornadoes, who seem like they're starting to figure out Ackerman a bit. Ackerman virtually blanked the Tornadoes other than one run scored on an RBI groundout by Falkers in game number 1, but Tornadoes able to get a couple base runners here. And now runners first and second. Hyatt at second, Queen at first. Those are your base runners. Falkers at the plate. The pitch from Ackerman. Off the plate, ball 1. Jocelyn Falkers, the native of the state of Illinois, part of that esteemed senior class. Here comes the 1-0. Across the plate, 1-1. Head coach Bree Sharon in the third base box. Christy Caldwell, the volunteer assistant coach, coaching first base at the moment. Pitch there, inside. Some of the Scott's faithful not happy about that ball strike call. 2-1 the count with 1 out. And the pitch off the plate, this time outside, so 3-1 the count. Critical situation here. Runners first and second. 1 out, a 3-1 count to Jocelyn Falkers. The pitch. Falkers puts this into play and able to make the fielder's choice at third. So using the force play, and the Tornadoes able to still have 2 base runners aboard as Taylor Hanna will come to the plate. Falkers now the base runner at first. Queen the base runner at second. And Taylor Hanna at the plate. Senior catcher. 2 outs now. First pitch swings Hanna. And a comebacker to Ackerman, and 2 runners are stranded. So Maryville able to get out of that jam. And meanwhile, we'll head to the top of the 7th inning. All tied up with your score. Brevard 3, Maryville 3. Okay. Back to action here at the Brevard College softball field. You're witnessing a great ball game here between these 2 clubs, Maryville and Brevard. All tied up at 3 here in the 7th inning. Savannah Jones has been outstanding. She's continuing her outing. Pitch there. Off the plate, ball 1. Jones thus far 6 innings pitched as base hit there. Chopper down the third base line, and runner aboard for the Scots as Brown comes to the plate, as Goodlow is the runner at first. Now Goodlow has certainly been a factor on the base pass in the top of the third. to tie this game up. Goodlow was able to reach base via an infield single, steal second, move from second to third on a flyout, and then ultimately score on an RBI groundout. That was the last run we saw in this game. We have not seen a run by either team since the top of the third inning. Tornadoes and Scots each scored 2 runs apiece in the first. Brevard took a 3-2 lead in the bottom of the second, and then Maryville with the equalizer in the top of the third. And we've had all zeros ever since. Stolen base there, so a little bit of deja vu from that third inning. Now the key for the Tornadoes will be keeping Goodlow limited from this point forward. She's now at second base representing the go-ahead run. Pitch here. Called strike. And striking out Brown. Jones able to locate there. Big time strikeout once again. Woodruff now steps to the plate. Savannah Jones, her second strikeout, and they both seem to have come in very big situations. Both of the looking variety, as this is first pitch swinging and fly out to center by Woodruff. Goodlow able to tag up on the play, make her way to third base. So once again, Goodlow, big factor on the base pass. And now she's that much closer to putting the Scots ahead. Meanwhile, the Tornadoes now with 2 outs to their benefit. And Sarah Coons, who had the RBI the last time we saw a run in this game. An RBI groundout that scored Goodlow, now has to deal with a 2-out situation, so requires a base hit. A line drive there and stabbed and made. The catch there was Morgan. Big time play at the shortstop position by the Tornadoes, and the Tornadoes able to limit the Scots, strand a Scott base runner, and the Tornadoes able to head to the bottom of the 7th. Your score here at BC Softball Field, Brevard 3, Maryville 3. What a ball game you're witnessing here at the BC Softball Field. Glad you're able to join us wherever you may be tuning in from. 3-3 your score. We're heading to the bottom of the 7th, so walk-off opportunity for the Tornadoes. And great part of the batting order to be coming up. Gabby Hooper, Emily White, and Michaela Morgan due up 2-3-4 hitters. And first up will be Hooper. The Tornado hitters will have to deal with the tough Megan Ackerman, who had the win in game number 1 and has also been excellent here in game number 2. Ackerman has shut out the Tornadoes for 5 innings, allowing 5 hits. She allowed 1 run on 2 hits in game 1 of the doubleheader. Swing and a miss there. 1-1 the count. Bottom of the 7th. All tied up at 3. Gabby Hooper at the plate. And the pitch. Check swing. Ball 2. Maryville faithful unhappy with that one as well. 2 balls, 1 strike. Leadoff hitter of the bottom of the 7th, swing and a miss there, so 2-2. Maryville, a 19-14 overall record, 10-3 in the USA South Conference. The pitch. This is yanked foul towards the football practice fields. And the 2-2. Outside, the count runs full. So, opportunity here for Gabby Hooper, trying to create a base running opportunity for the NATOs with some big bats on deck. The pitch. This is driven to left field over the head of the Maryville left fielder. Hooper rounds first, and she'll have a stand-up double. Gabby Hooper, ladies and gentlemen, with a double to left field that went over the head of Hensick, and a runner in scoring position for Emily White. Nation's leading hitter comes to the plate with a chance here with the game-winning run at second base. Gabby Hooper, big-time double to lead off this inning. That's her second double of the season. Ackerman versus White. 2 of the USA South's finest squaring off here. 3-3 your score, bottom of the 7th. And the pitch. Called strike, so 1-1 the count now. Next up after White is Michaela Morgan. Autumn Lawless due up after that. So meat of the order here for the Tornadoes, trying to get that game-winning run. This is put into play in right field. Base hit to right. Runner is being sent home. Gabby Hooper is actually being asked to move back to third base. So Hooper's held up after being sent home initially, and then a heads-up play by third base coach Bree Sharon, the head coach of the Tornadoes, to see that Hooper likely would have gotten thrown out and asked to return quickly to third, which she does. They dive to third head first. Meanwhile, a single and then reaching base on the throw by White. But some exciting moments here. White, meanwhile, 3 for 4 here in the second game of the doubleheader. So she'll inflate that batting average even further. And a meeting in the circle for Maryville. Certainly knowing that that game is hanging in the balance here in the bottom of the 7th. Runners second and third for the leading RBI machine for the Tornadoes, Michaela Morgan. Runners second and third. Hooper at third, White at second. The pitch to Morgan. And it's through. Hooper coming home to score. It's a walk-off win for the Tornadoes. Michaela Morgan with the RBI single, and Hooper comes home to score. The Tornadoes celebrate a big-time performance there by the Tornadoes. A walk-off win here in the bottom of the 7th inning. RBI single by Michaela Morgan. Gabby Hooper comes home to score the game-winning run. And just like that, the Tornadoes able to come away with a big-time win over the Maryville Scots. Stick with us. We'll bring you all the final numbers from this one, but an exciting one. By the way, Savannah Jones, what a job in the circle, the winning pitcher as well. Your score here at the BC softball field, Brevard 4, Maryville 3. Back here at the BC softball field, an exciting conclusion to the doubleheader. A walk-off win by the Tornadoes. What a moment as Gabby Hooper came home to score the game-winning run, and Tornadoes celebration ensued. Michaela Morgan with the walk-off RBI single, scoring Gabby Hooper for the game winner. Tornadoes, several strong individual performances in this one. Emily White did it once again, 3 for 4. Also a 3 for 4 day for Michaela Morgan with 2 RBIs, including the game winner. Sarah Barnes, 2 for 3, the freshman. Her first career hit, her first career triple, her first career run scored. Carly Queen went 2 for 3. Taylor Hanna 2 for 4 as well. And Savannah Jones, the winning pitcher, with 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, 3 walks and 2 strikeouts. What a performance by Savannah Jones to get the win. The Tornadoes able to take the victory. Final score of 4-3. Maryville did win game number 1 of the doubleheader, 11-1 in 5 innings. But what an answer by the Tornadoes here in game 2 of the Twin Bill. So that'll just about do it for us here at the BC softball field. Glad you're able to join us. Brevard 4 runs on 13 hits, no errors. Maryville 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors as well. Your final score for the final time: Brevard 4, Maryville 3. Go Tornadoes.